We've been handed a fascinating stack of source material analyzing a business idea that is, frankly, a little unglamorous but financially stunning: dryer vent cleaning. So today, our mission is to analyze DVC as a perfect case study for a low-capital, high-margin local service.
Exactly. We've synthesized reports from all over the US, Canada, even the UK and the EU to
Mhm.
really figure out why this simple service is such a silent profit powerhouse.
Our goal isn't just to talk about cleaning a vent, right? It's to break down the business physics of it.
That's it. We need to understand the demand, why there's not as much professional competition as you'd think, and why people are willing to pay a premium for it.
And the immediate hook here, the thing that jumped out to me, is that it's driven by two really powerful forces.
Mm.
First, this is critical to life safety, not just convenience. And second, the cost structure is so lean that the profit potential is. It's genuinely staggering.
The margins are incredible. We're talking net margins that can go north of 75% for a solo operator.
It's amazing. So let's dive into the core drivers of that demand first. The why.
Okay, so why does this seemingly mundane service have such pricing power? It really boils down almost entirely to the fire safety imperative.
Right.
Flint, it's terrifyingly flammable, and that accumulation is a leading cause of residential fires globally.
And the reports we looked at cited a truly shocking statistic for the U.S. market alone.
Over 15,000 structure fires.
15,000 every year.
Every single year, attributed directly to clogged dryer vents. This isn't a small footnote. It's a massive recurring safety crisis.
So when you're selling this service, you're not just selling a cleaning, you're selling peace of mind. You are actively mitigating a huge risk for a family.
And that connection to safety is the foundation of the pricing power. But that severity is, it's amplified by other economic drivers too.
Efficiency.
Exactly. Clogged vents destroy efficiency. The hot, moist air can't escape, so your dryer just runs and runs and runs.
Which means your utility bills go way up. The data we saw suggested a clean vent can literally cut drying time in half.
It can. So if you have a big family, you're doing a lot of laundry.
Yeah.
That translates into real savings on your gas or electric bill every single month.
And then there's the wear and tear on the machine itself.
Right. The third factor is equipment longevity. That obstructed airflow, it causes what's called thermal stress.
The machine just overheats constantly.
Constantly. And the sources note that this stress makes dryers break down up to 3 times faster.
So paying, say, $170 for a cleaning looks incredibly cheap compared to replacing a $1,500 dryer way too soon.
Precisely. And the final piece of this demand puzzle is repeatability.
Yeah, this isn't a one-and-done service like putting on a new roof.
No, it's recommended every 1 to 2 years. That predictability creates a reliable stream of recurring revenue, which is really the gold standard for any small business.
And you can get started without a mountain of debt.
The barrier to entry is extremely low. You can jump straight into capitalizing on that demand.
Okay, here's where we hit that aha moment. The profit margins themselves. I mean, if you look at other trades, plumbing, HVAC, your margins get eaten up by the cost of materials, right? Sometimes 30, 40, even 50% of the revenue.
But DVC is almost pure labor and expertise. Your only real consumables are fuel and insurance.
So the gross margins.
They commonly hit 80 to 90%. And then when you look at the net profit, what the owner actually takes home, a solo operator can pull in 60 to 75%.
And even if you scale up and hire people, the margins hold at, what, 35 to 55%, which is still very, very healthy.
It's incredibly robust.
So let's talk real-world dollars. What's an average ticket price look like?
In the US and Canada, you're looking at somewhere between $100 to $250 per visit. It depends on complexity, of course.
And how long does a job take?
45 to 90 minutes.
Yeah.
So a solo operator can realistically do, 4 to 6 jobs in a day?
Okay, so let's do the math on that. 6 jobs a day at, say, $170 a job. That's over $1,000 a day.
Right. And if you aim for just 60 jobs a month, which is very doable, at that $170 average ticket, you're looking at over $10,200 a month in revenue.
Which puts a solo operation well above the median U.S. household income right out of the gate.
Easily. And annual revenue for a single crew can push past $100,000, maybe even up toward $300,000 if you're good at upselling and route planning.
Okay, let me play devil's advocate for a second. If the margins are that good and the demand is that high, why isn't this market completely saturated?
That's a great question. The sources point to two main soft barriers.
Okay.
First, it's physical. It's not a desk job. You're crawling in tight spaces. You're getting dirty. You're handling big equipment. The technical barrier is low, so any handyman can say they do it. But the professional who shows up with the right gear, the right insurance,
Yeah.
that's who wins the high-margin jobs.
And that low capital requirement makes the initial jump so much easier.
Oh, absolutely. The total startup investment is somewhere between, say, $2,800 and maybe $10,000. It's incredibly low for a business that can generate six figures.
What's the core equipment you absolutely need?
You need a good rotary brush system,
Right.
one with flexible shafts that can get around corners in the ductwork. You need a powerful industrial vacuum or blower, and this is critical, an inspection camera.
And all of that comes in around, what, a few $1,000s?
The sources estimate between about $1,300 and $4,500 for that foundational equipment package.
And the only other major costs are what? Insurance and some marketing?
General liability insurance is non-negotiable. And yeah, a simple website and some initial marketing spend. Because the upfront cost is so low, you can break even really fast.
2 to 4 months is what the report said.
Often, yes. So once you're past that, the focus shifts entirely to maximizing the value of every single service call.
Which brings us to the average ticket. You've already driven to the customer's house, so you have to make that visit count.
This is where the professional workflow comes in. You start with a diagnostic test.
The anemometer.
Yes, the anemometer. And for anyone listening, that's just a small device that measures airflow.
So you get hard data, empirical proof.
Exactly. You measure the airflow before, you show them the number. Then you do the cleaning, you measure it after, and you show them the huge improvement.
A 50 or 100% increase in velocity, it makes the value impossible to argue with.
It does. And then after the cleaning, you have strategic add-ons that can push that $150 baseline job closer to $250 or even more.
Okay, so what are the highest yield upsells that tie back into that core safety message?
Number one is replacing the hazardous transition duct. That's the flexible tube connecting the dryer to the wall.
A lot of homes still have those flimsy foil or even white plastic ones, right?
So many. And they are a massive fire hazard. They're flammable, they kink up, they trap lint. So a pro will offer to replace it with a fire-rated, semi-rigid metal duct.
That feels like a huge value add. What's the typical charge for that?
Usually between $75 and $150. And now you've positioned yourself as a safety consultant, not just a cleaner.
Makes sense. And what about preventative stuff for the outside of the house?
Installing bird or rodent guards on the exterior vent. It's a huge problem. Birds build nests in there, and that guarantees a clog.
And that's a quick install.
Very quick. You can charge another $50 to $100 for it, and it gives the client long-term peace of mind.
I really like this idea of proofing your work. It feels like it solves that trust issue we talked about earlier.
It's essential. Offering a video inspection for an extra, say, $50 to $80 builds massive trust. You run a camera through the vent before and after.
A video receipt, basically.
It's tangible evidence of the quality of your work. And that's how you turn a one-time customer into a recurring client who calls you back in 2 years.
And once you have that customer relationship, you can expand into adjacent services.
Of course, you're already there. You've built trust. So cross-selling into full air duct cleaning, AC coil cleaning, or even basic dryer repair is a natural, low-friction way to add revenue.
So the DBC service is the high-margin engine that funds the expansion.
It's the foundation.
Let's talk about that path to growth. How do you go from being the technician on the ground to an operator running a real business?
The sources lay out a really clear three-stage evolution. Stage one is the solo operator. You're focusing on residential work, building cash flow, and just stacking up 5-star reviews.
Okay, then stage 2 is the big leap.
Stage two is securing commercial contracts. You move from one-off jobs to predictable recurring revenue.
And you're targeting places like apartment complexes, HOAs.
Hotels, laundromats, yeah. And your sales pitch has to change. For an HOA manager, you're selling liability mitigation. For a laundromat owner, you're selling equipment uptime and lower utility costs.
And those jobs pay more.
Much more. And they allow you to cluster your jobs geographically, which is huge for efficiency.
And then stage 3 is team expansion.
That's when you hire and train technicians, you add more vans, you get CRM software to manage everything. The owner stops cleaning vents and starts running the business.
Okay, what about getting those leads in the first place? Where do they come from?
The data is really consistent here. Online channels have the highest conversion rates. For residential leads, the absolute gold standard is Google Local Services Ads, LSA.
Why are those so much more effective than just a standard Google ad?
It's the Google Guaranteed badge. It's a massive trust signal. It means Google has already done a background check on you. They've verified your insurance.
So for a homeowner who's about to let a stranger into their house,
That badge immediately removes almost all of the skepticism. The click-to-booking rate is way higher.
and you have to back that up with a good local SEO, right? Optimizing for dryer vent cleaning near me and having a Google business profile full of those 5-star reviews.
The reviews are your social proof. But another thing the reports highlighted was visual marketing.
The before and after photos.
Yes, on platforms like Facebook or Nextdoor,
hmm
you're leveraging the fear factor a little bit.
Showing a picture of a huge, disgusting wad of lint is a lot more powerful than just saying, we clean vents.
It triggers that immediate safety-first response. It turns a passive scroller into an urgent booking.
Now, let's talk about what the sources called the referral ecosystem. This seemed like a genius strategy.
It's brilliant because you're tapping into other professionals who find the problem but can't solve it.
HVAC techs and appliance repair guys?
Exactly. They're constantly finding clogged vents are the root cause of a problem they're there to fix, but they aren't equipped to do the cleaning themselves.
So they're motivated to refer the business to someone who is.
They are. You offer them a referral fee, say 20 or 30 bucks for every booked lead, and you've just created a powerful, consistent inbound lead funnel that costs you almost nothing to maintain.
We've talked a lot about the US and Canadian markets. What about the global context? What did you find interesting about the UK and the EU?
The big difference is the technology. North America is built on vented dryers. But in the UK and a lot of Europe, condenser and heat pump dryers, which are ventless, are much more common.
So if you're looking to launch this in, say, London or Paris, you can't just target single-family homes.
No, your entire strategy has to pivot. The sources say the best opportunities in Europe are in niche commercial markets.
So apartment buildings that were built with vents?
Right, commercial laundries, big hotels, student housing. You have to be much more targeted based on the building stock.
Okay, let's talk about risks. Because no business is friction-free. What does someone need to be thinking about here?
Liability, property damage. That is the single biggest risk that can wipe out your profit.
Because you're dealing with old, brittle ducts, sometimes hidden inside a wall.
Exactly. If that duct tears while you're cleaning it, the liability is all on you.
So how do you mitigate that?
Well, comprehensive general liability insurance is mandatory. That's step one. But the sources are clear. Insurance is only half the battle. You have to perform a pre-inspection video scan.
So the camera serves a dual purpose.
It's your primary legal defense. It establishes the condition of the ductwork before you touched anything. It can shift liability away from you if there was pre-existing damage.
And the other silent killer of profit, route density, or a lack of it.
This is so important. If you're spending 45 minutes driving between each $170 job, your effective hourly rate just plummets. High travel time kills margins.
So what's the solution?
The reports all recommend neighborhood days. You offer a small discount, maybe 15%, if a few neighbors on the same street book for the same day.
You create geographic clusters.
You minimize travel time, you maximize your revenue per hour, and you get great word of mouth in that community.
And we should probably just acknowledge seasonality. This is a business that's going to peak in the fall and winter.
It is. So you just have to manage your cash flow. Bank the profits from the busy season to carry you through the slower months.
So to synthesize all this, the verdict from the data seems remarkably clear.
It is. DVC is arguably one of the best low-capital, high-margin local service businesses out there right now. It's ideal for a solo entrepreneur who wants to get profitable fast.
So what does this all mean for the listener who's thinking beyond just that first year of impressive margins?
I think the sources point to DVC as a foundational service. It provides the crucial cash flow and the customer database you need to expand strategically.
So DVC is the foot in the door.
That's the key takeaway. Once you're established, the strong profit model lets you fund expansion into other, bigger ticket services, like full air duct cleaning or AC work. The business evolves from one person and a van into a multi-crew fleet.
And you could even see a path to franchising or territory licensing down the road.
Absolutely. But it's all built on that incredibly strong, repeatable DVC profit structure. You solve a critical safety problem efficiently, and the rewards follow.